What's up, everyone? We are live at 5. It's Wednesday, June 10th. I'm Paul Montour.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
No signature earrings today.
I thought this was enough.
Sure. It works. It is enough because we have somebody fantastic here as a guest. Beth, who is in our green room right now?
Oh, we have Tony nominee and certified movie star Norm Lewis with us today.
Yes! I just watched his movie. Oh my God. It's so good. I thought it was just going to be, I'll tell you later. I have a lot to say. It's so good, and I'm so excited to see him do something so exciting. A Spike Lee joint. What? A Spike Lee joint starring Norm Lewis. I'm so into that. We will find out everything, but first, let's do today's news.
Hello? Is this the musical you've been waiting for?
Oh, you didn't sing it. I was hoping you were going to sing it, Caitlin, because that's Lionel Richie, of course, and Disney is developing a movie musical with the catalog of Lionel Richie hits. So it's called All Night Long. You want to sing, Paul?
Now with Norm Lewis in the green room.
Of course, All Night Long is the 1983 big chart-topping number. It's going to be written by Peter Chiarelli, who wrote Crazy Rich Asians, and it will feature the Lionel Richie hits that you know. Hello, thus Caitlin's intro there. Say You, Say Me, Endless Love, which was his duet, of course. And yeah, so of course.
No, wait, no, you did not mention Dancing on the Ceiling.
Right.
Oh, What a Feeling. That's a big production number. No, they got it.
I didn't mention that.
What?
I will also
make sure they get that one.
Richie was the Lionel Richie that we know and love. He was also part of the Commodores, so it might include some of those songs, and you can't forget the Commodores. So there you go. Lionel Richie movie in the works.
Sure.
This sounds ripe for a Broadway moment, but we'll let it go to be a movie first. And also, you should know, Lionel Richie songs have been included in at least 2 Broadway shows, Motown the Musical and Disaster! Exclamation point.
I wouldn't have guessed Disaster. I wouldn't have thought of that, but there were a lot of great songs in Disaster.
There you go.
Yes, and some of our stage faves, including Miss Audra, are taking part of this virtual summer concert series.
She's just Miss Audra. We used to call her Mama Broadway. Wasn't that a thing for a while?
Norm Lewis can call her whatever he wants. He's probably texting her right now.
He's calling her right now. Audra McDonald. So Seth Rudetsky, our friend Seth Rudetsky, is doing his Broadway concert series, which he used to do at the Art House in Provincetown, which is a great theater, and he's done them all over the place. But he's doing them online because that's what you do this summer. So we just found out Audra McDonald, Lea Salonga, and Melissa Errico have all signed on. And we already knew that on the 14th is Jeremy Jordan, then Jesse Mueller's the 21st. It all started with Kelly O'Hara. These are all the regular names that we talk about a lot here. Lea Salonga, June 28th. Melissa Errico, July 5th. Audra McDonald, July 12th. They're all at 8 p.m. They're all Sunday night. And then the second showing on Mondays. And you pay for tickets for these. But they're fantastic because, Seth Rudetsky plays and he has stories and gossip. And, it's Seth Rudetsky. It's what he does. It's his thing.
It's his thing.
Yes, and some of our favorite theaters, like the Public, have gotten some grants to keep them afloat during this tough time.
Right. Well, actually, this is from the National Endowment for the Arts, which is always giving out grants, even not during a tough time. And they're doing their second round of funding for the 2020 fiscal year. And some of our favorite places, like the Public Theater, were included in these grants. They gave out 1,144 grants to arts organizations, which is pretty amazing in all 50 states and all 5 U.S. territories and Washington, D.C. So some of the organizations that we know and love are the Public Theater, the Brooklyn Academy the Brooklyn Academy of Music, or BAM, the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, La Mama, downtown, and a lot of other places. This is a great program, helps a lot of companies commission a lot of new work and put on all those shows we know and love. And this organization, the NEA, won a special Tony in 2016.
I forgot that. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
That is so special. And what is even also special is that Rita Moreno is going to be doing a really great duet next week.
So this is Rita Moreno. You know her. Tony winner, Oscar winner.
EGOT.
You got Anita. Her name is Rita and not Cheetah. That used to be a Forbidden Broadway thing back in the 80s. Anyway, so she's on the reboot of One Day at a Time, which is a big hit. And she will be singing with Gloria Estefan, the Mi Tiara, which is a great. Remember that album, Beth? It was like all Cuban music. It was so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're doing a parody duet of Gloria's song. This is an episode on the 16th at 9:30, and it also features a guy you might know named Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's called the Politics episode, and Lynn and Gloria play a conservative aunt and uncle who come to visit. So that's something. It's Broadway adjacent news, right? That's what we call it.
Sure.
Broadway adjacent. All people that we've talked about on Broadway. Anyway, it's time to talk about Norm Lewis. Come on, it's time. Beth, I know you're going to stick around and watch, but I'm going to take you out right now. And Caitlin, please introduce today's leading man.
Gladly, you guys. Today we have Norm Lewis here with us today for a fun episode of Live at 5 Home Edition, live right here on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to be talking all about the upcoming release of his new Spike Lee film, Da 5 Bloods, that's coming up on Netflix this Friday. Okay, and Norm Lewis, he's in it. He's starring in it. He's Eddie. It's amazing. You guys, Broadway fans might know Norm for being a Tony nominee for Porgy and Bess. He made history as the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. He has over 12 Broadway credits to his name, and if we listed every iconic stage moment he has had, we would be here for the next 2 hours. So instead, we're just going to bring him in. You guys can follow him on social at the Norm Lewis. Leave all of your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Norm and Paul.
Norm Lewis.
How are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Only 2 hours of memorable stage moments. That's it. Only 2 hours. I don't know. You've done a lot. You've done a lot. And I just watched your film. But let's start with sort of the obvious question: the world that we're in right now. There's a lot of turmoil, a lot of protests happening. There's a lot of discussion about the Broadway community, how Broadway artists are impacted by all this. So I just kind of want to check in with you. You are a well-loved part of the Broadway community, and I feel like a lot of people are talking about change on Broadway, and I'm sort of wondering how you're feeling and maybe what you're hoping for will come out of all this once Broadway is back.
Well, look, we're all trying to have one voice. We don't all have the same experiences, but we all want to go towards the same goal. And what the death of George Floyd has done is open up a Pandora's box of many different challenges that's in this nation, in this world, and if you want to bring it down to a micro level, in this industry. And so it's certain things that we need to talk about. And we're just trying to figure that out right now, And people are talking with each other and trying to have conversations and dialogue. And some are more intense than others. But but I think it's definitely because of the passion that's been brewing for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you actually, this movie will be a big part of the conversation. It must be exciting to think that's something that you filmed last year. And now it's coming out on Friday. And I know this was sort of an adjusted. Originally, it was supposed to go to like the Cannes Film Festival, right? And obviously because of COVID-19, everything got adjusted. But now it's coming out on the 12th. Spike Lee directed it, and this weekend, everyone is going to be talking about The 5 Bloods. That must be exciting.
It is. The thing about it is that it's almost prophetic. Spike Lee has always been a leader in Black culture and telling that story, Black American story, African American story. But not a lot of people are not African Americans. A lot of people from Jamaica or wherever. So he wanted to focus on the Black culture. And what was interesting about this is that it is a lesson. In each thing that Spike does, it always turns out not only is it entertaining, but there always seems to be an educational component to it, or component to it. And so. It was educational for us, even the guys that were in the show. I had no idea about this story or these stories. And it really brought a new awareness and hopefully authenticity to us developing our characters throughout this movie.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Vietnam War,
Right.
and a group of black servicemen that served together, the Five Bloods,
Right.
DA, the Five Bloods.
Got Five Bloods.
Yes, and it is a Spike Lee joint. I just like saying that. I've always loved saying that. Actually, I just want to ask you. I remember being a high school student, and I spent a summer. I was from Connecticut. I spent a summer in New York City, and it happened to be the summer Do the Right Thing came out.
Right.
And I remember seeing it in a New York movie theater and having it's one of my all-time favorite films. I wanted to ask you, is there anything sort of from the Spike Lee resume that just really is really meaningful for you?
There's so many of them, but I will say the one that left a mark on me was the first one, because people kept saying, I was in college when this one came out, and then people kept saying, you got to see this film. There's this new guy that's out there. He's really telling this story, and She's Gotta Have It was one of those things that was just so significant and so groundbreaking. Yeah. And it set a tone for what the rest of his filmmaking has been. So that's anytime you see a Spike Lee joint, that's Spike Lee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds redundant, but it is. His cinematography, his artistry. So, Malcolm X, I can say too, left a mark on me. Yeah.
So, did you audition for him? How did this movie come into your life? Let's start with that.
We've known each other for a while. He's come to see me do different things. He came. I think he saw Porgy and Bess like 5 times. And
wait, hold on. I got a beautiful photo from that. Remember that?
Oh,
there you are. There you are.
Wait, who is
Audra McDonald?
Audra McDonald.
So Spike saw that one a bunch.
Yeah, he did. And the thing about it is, over the years, I would see him at different events, and then I got lucky enough 2 summers ago to be in She's Gotta Have It, and the TV series,
the reboot, right?
And so I got a chance to do an episode on that, and that was my experience with him, working with him. A few months later, I get a phone call. He has my number. He's like, Norman, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm just sitting at home. He said, I got a script I want you to read. I'm going to send it to you. Click. And that was it. Wow. So I'm going, okay, Spike Lee wants me to read a script. I don't know what this means, but if he wants my opinion, I don't know. So I read the script, and then the next morning he calls. He says, so what do you think? I said, it's great. It's fantastic. Look, good luck on that project. I hope you have a good time. And then he said, I want you to meet me for dinner tonight. I want to talk about it more. And I'm like, okay. Now, again, wheels turning, but I don't want to make any assumptions. I don't want to. He said, don't even tell your manager or agent. So that's how it was. So I said, okay, maybe he might want me to be a part of this. I go to dinner that night. We talk about the script again, and then we specifically talk about Eddie. And he's like, well, I want to offer you that role. Okay. So inside, I'm jumping up and down like this little boy that just found out he got on the football team. But I'm trying to be cool, and I'm like, well, thanks, man. I mean, it's an honor to be part of anything that you do. But inside, I'm like, doing this. And then I left there, and I called my manager, and I said, Spike just offered me a job. And so we got busy with that, and then a few weeks later, he wins an Oscar, and then he leaves for Thailand. He's in a good mood. I leave for Thailand. We all meet up, and some of us know each other, and some of us are meeting each other for the first time, but knowing each other's work. And then we just start delving right into it. And he's amazing. I cannot tell you you have to experience what his process is. It's fantastic.
Wow. So the guys that you're talking about, actually, I love this. So you all served together in Vietnam. There's 4 of you. You're aged up a little bit, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I'm up there.
You're the baby. You're the baby of the group. You're the baby of the group. So you're all there. It was 5 guys that served together, and so Delroy Lindo, Clark Peters, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who, by the way, are all Broadway veterans. So this is a very Broadway topic. We can talk about this movie very openly. And you're all there looking for this guy named Norm.
Yeah.
Norman Norman, who died, and you all watched him die during the war, and you're there to get his body and maybe to look for some treasure, and it's really crosses genres, this movie.
Yeah, we go back. The narrative is that we go back to go get his remains so we can give him a proper burial and blah blah blah. But also there's gold there, and I think that that's not a spoiler. It's just the fact, and we're going there, and there's some. I always say there's plots to bring disaster that comes along with all of this. But it's interesting because there's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of heart in it. You see brotherhood. You see these black men going through real problems and real struggles. But it's not about being black. I mean, there's certain levels that come to light in this whole thing, and we're just seen as human beings going through a human experience. But there's this love for each other, and that will never go away. And we've, even though we've been separated for many years and lived our lives, we come back to the significance of this one goal, or two goals, actually.
This is not your first experience with Vietnam art. You were one of the best John ever in Miss Saigon.
Oh, stop it. I will say, though, I do have a record of being in Miss Saigon. I was the longest John on Broadway. Thank you.
Height. You sang that song beautifully. I'm gonna change the topic. You sang that song beautifully. If you want to sing it right now, did you sing it on set at all of The Five Bloods? Were you like, hey guys, I was in a show called Miss Saigon?
Yeah, I always say, come listen to me. No, but you know what? I will say that Spike did have me when we were finishing up certain areas. He would say, hey, we're on a slow boat or a boat going somewhere. We're going back to New York. He's like, Norm, sing that song. Didn't you do that show? So I had to sing Boat Leaving for New York in the middle of the jungle. And he's like, sing it. And I'm like, come on, Spike. No, sing it.
Wow.
And you have to do what Spike says. So I ended up singing Boat Leaving for New York.
So you were also hired to be like Spike Lee's fantasy jukebox.
Absolutely.
So I also read this is like the biggest budget Spike Lee has ever had. This film. This is a big budget, like for him. I mean, he's worked with really small budgets a lot, but this was actually like a big. What was it like? And you talk about where you filmed, and I mean, just look at the locations. I mean, that's where was that?
That's in Thailand, and we're in an actual rice paddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what was it like? Did you feel, and also I love seeing you. You've done a lot of TV. Every time you were on Scandal, I got very excited, but you've done a lot of little TV things, but this is a big, meaty Norm Lewis role.
Yeah.
What is it like to get that?
This was the biggest thing I've done so far. And I was so appreciative of being a part of this whole journey with Spike and telling this story. It was great to have, because there was a major budget with this. Netflix just went all out. But I will say that Spike was very strategic and actually brought a lot of things under budget, because I think he's used to that. And they really appreciated it, so it left a lot of money on the table for them to work on for other things to go along with this movie. And, he came in with, we would finish things or scenes or any of the storyline quicker than they were ready for. And in some cases, I had a few days off on the schedule, and then I had like 4 days off in succession. But then I had to take one of those and go, no, they said they're ready for you now. So we were ready to go on another location. So Spike knows how to wave his wand when it comes to budgets.
And I just realized that Eddie, you hear me twice. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm gonna try not to do that. Hold on, I'm gonna take myself off for a second.
Are you echoing? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Norm doesn't hear it twice.
Okay,
it went away. So what I wanted to ask, I just realized Eddie, he like walks pigeon-toed, doesn't he? Yeah. And I just realized, Porgy and Bess, you like mastered. You were like I don't know. I still don't know how you did that every day, but like you also have that amazing talent that actually came into play here. That what was that? I mean, that's a crazy. There's a physicality to this character as well.
That was another reason I think that's why he was thinking of me, because he knew that I had gone through some physical deformity for like a year, being in Porgy and Bess. So that actually brought, he actually brought that up, because he said, okay, you can handle this. I know you can handle this. And we were running up and down terrain. Like I was running up and down a football field of terrain, which, was going up and down like this while I was holding a gun and shooting at people. And and the heat, it was, like 94 degrees was like the minimum we were dealing with. Sometimes it was 112. It was humid. We had bugs landing on us. Even with bug repellent, they were like, I don't care. We're going to land on you anyway and bite you anyway. But I think that added to what those characters went through, either in the scenes that were flashbacks or even in the modern day scene. So that was it worked. It worked for helping us develop those characters.
Well, because Spike also had this great idea of not making you guys younger in the flashback scenes, which is obviously was really discussed. By the way, this movie is getting rave reviews, I should say. This morning, I just read like amazing reviews across the board. This is so great. But a lot of people are talking about how De Niro in The Irishman, another Netflix movie, that they made him younger for the flashback. For this one, they chose to just have you guys do the flashback scenes as well, which is really interesting.
I think because, Spike was, when he talked to us about that, he was like, no, you know what, let's not worry about trying to de-age you. Let's not put a wig on you or make you younger and all that stuff. He's like, you're going through this even in this moment. Like you never forget where you came from. It's almost like that cliche, if I knew then what I know now kind of situation. So he said, and being on stage, we understand this as actors.
Yeah, right.
You don't really have, as long as you're telling the story, people get it. People will understand, when Mr. Cooper, what's his name? What's his first name? Mr. Cooper did the Elephant Man recently.
Bradley.
Sorry, forgive me, Bradley.
Did I win? Ding, ding, ding.
You did, ding, ding, ding. When Bradley Cooper, was up there doing his monologue, and then he actually did this kind of thing. And then, you don't need, you go with the story. You don't need to add makeup and stuff. So that's what we did with this. And, it was amazing to be with Chadwick Boseman. First of all, this Black Panther, we were getting over that thing because he's so significant in that. But listening to him as Norman and his wisdom and his support and making sure that we know that Black people are dignified and just trying to stay the course. It was interesting to, as Eddie, listening to all that and that absorbing, and then that coming back to him 40 some odd years later, and the reason why we're there to get this goal so we can help Black Lives Matter or help Black people.
Yeah. And there's talk of reparations in the movie. There's talk of Black Lives Matter. I mean, all of this, which again is why I think it's really going to strike an amazing nerve with people right now.
Yeah. Very timely.
Yeah, it's exciting to. I'm telling you, it's going to be in everyone's Netflix this weekend. It's going to be the thing. Well, I want to bring in Caitlin, and let's take some user questions, fan questions.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to do the first question is, okay, Crystal wants to know, what was the biggest adjustment for you to do when you first started doing movie and TV and film versus doing it on Broadway?
Well, Broadway, we're trying to hit the back of the stage, and I'm trying to speak like this, and
You're very booming too.
Yes, and so you're trying to make it as real as possible, even when you're doing all that big stuff, and especially being in musicals, because you speak until you can't speak anymore, and then you have to sing Paul One Torek.
I've never heard you sing my song before.
We got to put that on an album somewhere. But
all right.
But then I remember when one of my first gigs years ago, I was directed by Apollo Creed. Now I'm forgetting his name. Don't get old, but I'm forgetting his real name. Apollo Creed. Help me out. Anybody?
Oh, Apollo from the movie?
Yeah. What's his real? Carl Weathers. So
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers was directing me in a show called Strong Medicine, and I just remember I was so nervous and my wife has just had postpartum depression, and she left the baby somewhere, and she's in the hospital. So I'm at the doctor's office, and I'm kind of like, tell me about my wife, and I'm getting all into this and passionate. And Carl, we did it a couple of times. He's like, okay, Norm, come here for a second. You do theater, right? And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, your voice is big. You don't have to be that big. Just bring it down. I said, really? It's like, yeah. You can bring it right here. It's all about the eyes. It's all about the eyes and the passion behind that. They'll know what you're thinking. I said, okay. So I trusted him. And then it just kind of progressed from there, and taking my acting classes and on-camera classes. And I learned that there's a significant amount of just bringing it down and just think about something and it coming through your eyes. Where on Broadway, you kind of have to go, you kind of have to be a little bit more lively. But it's just having those skill sets and one of the things, I guess I keep going with this answer, but one of the things I find that a lot of people who only do television and film find it difficult to do theater. But people who do theater, it's a little bit different because we can bring it down. So.
I mean, you've been getting great practice too, doing a lot of TV and like really sort of like you've been getting ready for this moment.
Absolutely. And, there's now more cross-pollination, especially with musical theater people, where it used to be, it's just musical theater, it's just theater, just TV, just film,
Yeah.
Now it's cross-pollination.
Yes, that's
That was
amazing.
a long answer. I'm so sorry.
No, I love a long answer.
We love it. So a lot of people want to know about what it's like being like a leading man on Broadway. You have such a well-rounded resume. So Johnny wants to know specifically, do you have a favorite show or character you've been able to do over these years?
Well, it's been interesting because I guess what I'm known for is Phantom and Javert because it's all in your face.
Look, I have some visuals. I got some visuals.
Who's that guy? But and actually, I have another record. I should be very proud of myself. I was the first African American to play Javert on Broadway. So, so I have that, The Longest John, and The Phantom. Anyway,
you had to bring it up again.
But all of my roles they're like my little babies because I've learned so much from them, and I use all of what I've learned from them into each new character. And, I did a show called Captain's Courageous off Broadway with MTC. And what I learned from that is I had 4 lines. And what was significant about that was we had to learn a Gloucester, Massachusetts accent. They brought in a coach to teach us that, but it felt wrong in my spirit that I would be doing this. And what I found out through research is that a lot of those fishermen in those fishing boats would go down to the Caribbean to find people to work as cooks. Right. And I was the cook. So I decided to do a Trinidadian accent as opposed to doing a Gloucester, Massachusetts. I felt proud about that and bringing that to life every night and making this character have authenticity, if you will.
I love that. But you also, I missed this one, by the way. I missed this. I missed that. You were you did the Music Man in DC. I missed that one.
Yeah, that was a dream come true. And, I have to say that I was just so honored to be a part of that journey with Jesse Mueller and Rosie O'Donnell. And, I appreciate everybody that was in that. And even though it was a short amount of time, I always wanted to play that role. And I was hoping that maybe I could change a few minds for Broadway. But, some guy named Hugh.
That guy.
Hugh, what's his last name?
Carl Weathers. I don't know.
I love you, Hugh. I'm just kidding. I love you. I can't wait to see you.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Okay, so Caitlin Elizabeth on Facebook wants to know, can we hear all about the amazing Georgia Stitt album that Norm slays in?
Wow. Well, I mean, I only know about my part, and I'm just so honored to be on this album because Georgia Stitt is, I can't curse on this network, but Georgia Stitt is effing phenomenal. I mean, I come on, look at who she is married to, for one.
Chase Robert Brown, yeah.
But on her own, she is just amazing. And I love the fact that she's created this community for women to be seen in this world that usually is dominated by men. And so I hope more women get recognized like she is. She's just phenomenal. And this album is fantastic. All the people that are on it. I saw some of the recordings, like we would do crossovers, and I would sit there and just watch this process and see her change certain things and get certain harmonies from people and emotion from people. And she did that with me when I did my song. I love that song. I gotta actually ask her permission if I can sing that in a concert somewhere.
I'm sure she'll say yes. You have some great albums too, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
I got a couple of good ones. Yeah, I feel very proud about that, and hopefully some other ones will be coming soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking so much. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's all right.
you can
It's all good.
You can stay forever. Totally fine by me.
And I
Okay.
have COVID hair. I need to get a haircut.
Yeah, me too. I'm just grooming it.
I just pull it back. Throw a headband on. It's fine.
I know.
Okay. So Rosie wants to know, what are you most excited about for people who know you from Broadway to see you in this new movie?
I think more than just seeing me in it, I think the fact that I just want them to see it. This is a part of history that was left out. And, I may have mentioned this before, I'm not sure, but there was 11% of African Americans in the United States at that time, that they made up that percentage, but yet it was 33% of the Army was African American men. And I didn't know this. We didn't know this when we got there. And we did a lot of research with books and some documentaries that we saw. And it was just significant to have that be told. And hopefully with everybody all of my non-Black friends are calling to say they see me and they support me and they love me and they hear me. I think this is one of those things where people are willing to find out more about this culture and finding about the history. And that's I feel like this movie will be one of those keys that opens that door,
Mm-hmm. I feel like being on a Spike Lee set must be so many levels. I mean, you're making art, but it's like an education, and he's just a brilliant guy to be around, and history. And I just can't, it must be a lot to walk away from with all of that.
Yeah. And the thing about it, working with him, you just trust him. And, you come into this cocoon of something that's already working, and then you get the freedom to be this actor. And, he's an actor. So he knows about that. I mean, he's an actor, director, a writer. He's got all of that, and he trusted us with his material. And then sometimes he would change in the middle of it. A lot of it was improv. A lot of it was like, I don't like that line. Change that. Do this. That kind of thing.
Oh, I know he's an actor. He was Mookie in Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, and I mentioned Mookie in the movie because of me being pigeon-toed.
Oh, Norm Lewis, I'm so excited for you. I'm going to bring Caitlin and Beth back in. Beth, do you have any questions about Spike? Beth's a big Spike Lee fan, too.
I'm a big Spike Lee fan, and I'm a big Norm Lewis fan. He's saying your name, Paul, so forget it. I'm very jealous.
I want to hear the rest of that song. We're gonna play the movie Da 5 Bloods is on Netflix this Friday, or I think if you stay up really late tomorrow at midnight, it probably goes on, depending on which time zone you're in.
But and to that point, I feel like because of what's been happening in the world, being with COVID, our economy, and everybody is on one accord anyway, and they're coming at it from different ways. But I feel like people being at home will get a chance to. There might be more people who will see it than have been in the theater. So
absolutely.
I'm really excited about that. And there's going to be a change that's happening. It's so strong. Japan is saying Black Lives Matter. The world is saying Black Lives Matter. So we're all on one accord. I feel hopeful.
Absolutely. I'm so thrilled. Great to see you. I'm so happy everyone's going to see you on Netflix this weekend. Caitlin will take us out, and then she's gonna show us the trailer.
Caitlin and Beth and Paul.
I'm gonna go faint.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you,
This is
Norm.
gonna be our new theme song.
Bye.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. You guys, I want that to be the new Live at 5 theme song. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another fun episode of Live at 5 Home Edition. You can follow along where we get your podcast by searching for hashtag Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, and we're going to roll you guys out with the trailer of Da 5 Bloods coming to Netflix on Friday.
Black GI, is it fair to serve more than the white Americans that sent you here? Nothing is more confused than to be ordered into a war to die without the faintest idea of what's going on. I dedicate this next record to the soul brothers of the 1st Infantry Division. Be safe.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Vietnam.
Look what I found.
Dirty man in all his glory.
Who was that guy? That brother was the best damn soldier that ever lived.
I have no place to stay.
We bury it. Later on, we come back and collect.
Love has flown away. My tears have come and gone. Oh my Lord, I have to roam. I have no heart.
I shall resign the presidency.
Being back here, it is not easy.
Now the time has come. There's no place to run.
Broken man. So what, you blaming yourself? You don't even know.
No!
I've been loved and put aside. I've been crushed by tumbling tide. And my soul's been psychedelicized.
We've been dying for this country from the very get.
Now the time has come. There are things to realize.
We give this goal
Has come today.
to our people.
Hold on!
In my line of work, I have to be very careful. And that means knowing exactly who I am in business with.